You are sexy. What's going on over here?
David, you're back early. I thought you were on vacation with your family.
Yeah, I was, but we had to cut it short because of the weather conditions. Who's that?
Who's who?
Hi guys, my name is Alberta Inima. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more exciting short films and movies. Bye-bye!
It was supposed to be an ordinary evening. A man walked into a popular drinking spot after a long and stressful day. He wanted to relax, have a few drinks, and forget about his problems for a while. The place was lively. Music played in the background. People laughed and talked while waiters moved from table to table serving drinks. That was where he noticed a young woman sitting alone. She appeared to be waiting for someone, quietly enjoying her drink. The man approached her and introduced himself. At first, their conversation was harmless. They talked about work, relationships, and everyday life. The woman was friendly, and the man interpreted her friendliness as an invitation to become closer. He offered to buy her another drink. She accepted. One drink became two. Two became several. As the night progressed, both of them became increasingly intoxicated. But while the woman was becoming less aware of her surroundings, the man's intentions were becoming increasingly inappropriate. He began moving closer to her. She noticed the change and tried to create some distance. But he ignored the signals. She told him she was tired and wanted to leave. Instead of respecting her decision, he tried to convince her to stay. He told her she had nothing to worry about. He even promised that he would help her get home safely. He told her she had nothing to worry about. He even promised that he would help her get home safely. But his behavior suggested otherwise. The woman became uncomfortable. She repeatedly told him to stop. Yet he continued trying to take advantage of her vulnerable state. At that moment, what had started as a casual meeting between two strangers had become a dangerous situation. The woman tried to stand up and leave, but because she had consumed too much alcohol, she struggled to maintain her balance. The man saw her vulnerability as an opportunity. He attempted to lead her away from the crowded area. She resisted. Fortunately, someone else had been paying attention. A man sitting nearby had noticed the interaction. At first, he assumed the two were friends. But as the situation developed, he realized something was wrong. He saw the woman trying to pull away. He heard her repeatedly telling the man to leave her alone. That was enough. The stranger immediately stood up and approached them. He asked the woman if she was okay. The man who had been trying to take advantage of her became defensive. He insisted that everything was fine. He claimed that the woman was with him. But the Good Samaritan wasn't convinced. He asked the woman directly whether she knew the man and whether she wanted to leave with him. The woman shook her head. That simple response changed everything. The Good Samaritan positioned himself between them and told the man to step away. The man became angry. He argued that nobody had the right to interfere. But the Good Samaritan remained calm. He told him that the woman had clearly said no and that he needed to respect her decision. Other people in the drinking spot began noticing the confrontation. The man's confidence quickly disappeared. A few moments earlier, he had believed he could manipulate the situation. Now, everyone was watching him. The Good Samaritan helped the woman sit down safely and contacted someone she trusted. He stayed with her until she was in a safe position to leave. The man who had attempted to take advantage of her was left standing there in silence. The alcohol that had given him false confidence was no longer enough to hide what he had done. He looked around and realized that people were staring at him. There was no applause, no admiration, no respect, only disappointment. He had entered the place thinking he was simply going to enjoy himself. Instead, he had exposed a darker side of himself. The situation forced him to confront an uncomfortable truth. Being intoxicated does not give anyone permission to violate another person's boundaries. The woman's friendliness had not been consent. Accepting a drink had not been consent. Talking to him had not been consent. And being intoxicated certainly did not mean she had surrendered her right to make decisions about her own body. The Good Samaritan's intervention prevented the situation from becoming even worse. But the incident also raised another important question. How many people see something uncomfortable happening and choose to remain silent? Sometimes, intervention doesn't require being a hero. It can simply mean asking someone, "Are you okay?" It can mean refusing to ignore a person who is clearly uncomfortable. It can mean calling for help. It can mean staying nearby until someone vulnerable reaches safety. That night, one person decided not to look away. And because of that decision, a vulnerable woman was protected from someone who was prepared to cross a serious boundary. As the night came to an end, the man who had tried to take advantage of the woman was left with nothing but shame. He had wanted to impress a stranger. Instead, he had embarrassed himself. He had wanted to demonstrate power. Instead, he revealed a lack of character. And he had mistaken someone's vulnerability for an opportunity. But he learned, perhaps painfully, that another person's weakness should never become your opportunity to exploit them. The Good Samaritan eventually walked away knowing that he had done what was right. The woman left safely, and the man remained behind, forced to think about the consequences of his actions. Perhaps the greatest lesson he could take from that night was that character is revealed most clearly when you have power over someone who cannot easily defend themselves. And the man remained behind, forced to think about the consequences of his actions. The lesson from this story is simple. No means no, and vulnerability is never an invitation. Never mistake someone's friendliness for consent. Never assume that buying someone drinks gives you ownership over them. And never use someone's intoxication, fear, or inability to defend themselves as an opportunity to take advantage of them. Alcohol may affect someone's judgment, but it does not erase their right to safety, dignity, and bodily autonomy. This story also reminds us that we should not always be passive when we see something wrong. If someone appears uncomfortable or unable to protect themselves, a simple intervention can make a tremendous difference. You don't have to put yourself in unnecessary danger. You can ask for help, alert security, contact someone the person trusts, or simply stay nearby until they are safe. And finally, remember this. True strength is not taking advantage of someone who is vulnerable. True strength is having the character to protect them. Treat people with dignity, respect their boundaries, and never allow alcohol, desire, or peer pressure to become an excuse for harmful behavior. Because one moment of selfishness can create consequences that last a lifetime.
So folks, this is the lesson from today's video. I will encourage you to subscribe if today is the first time you are watching us. Hit the notification button, comment, like, and share so that others can also get the opportunity to watch what we are doing, and then we can also touch their lives just as we've done yours. See you in our next episode.